they call the pandemic, right? Well, I actually started calling it the panoramic, because I knew that we're pandemic now. All right. So 2020 was a beast, right, for everybody. The whole world shut down, and just everybody stood still. And we're all living in here. Don't look at them. A lot of us had to stay home. A lot of us had to homeschool and make sure that the kids were doing online schooling, but still working, trying to manage everything, manage kids that are crazy because they can't be outside. You know, what I think a lot of people don't realize was that 2020 was a globally traumatic event. Everybody, we're all in this trauma together, and a lot of that energy is really, really stuck in us still. A lot of people who don't know how to get it out or haven't had the time to, because while the world shut down, you and I, we didn't shut down. We had to keep going and going and going, right? Now, as the world opens back up, and like she's joining us from this, so that's really cool, you know, we're all expected to suddenly spring back to normal, right? Like, the world comes back, we're supposed to come back just like that. Be even better, be a mom, work out, work, wake up at 6 o'clock, sleep at 10 a.m., eat at 10 p.m., that whole thing, right? But we're all still carrying that stress, right, from 2020. And we're all going, oh my God, is everything okay? It's been like this, going up and down, and we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. So, do you guys know the word burnout? Yeah. You know that burnout has nothing to do with being overworked? That's a cause of it. But burnout is actually the feeling that you get when you're constantly exhausted from being emotionally swamped and emotionally overloaded. Because we have this gland in the back of our head, this adrenaline gland, and when you're stressed, your adrenaline fires and fires and fires, so that you can run away from the situation and stay alive. That's our primal nature, right? So since 2020, that gland in the back of our head has been going, and it's starting to go, I can't keep going anymore, and neither can you. So burnout happens when you're feeling overwhelmed and you're unable to just keep up with the demands that maybe 3 years ago didn't seem that bad, but right now we're all going, okay, how are we going to do this? We get to PBX, we're super inspired, and we go home, and what I don't want you to do is to sit at home and go, but then I'm not. It's just too much. Again, you just link into that, right? So, who's going to be really honest with me and let me know, or let the world know, we're all open here, that you're burnt out? Right? And I see nods too. And it's okay, you guys. Look around the room. You're not alone. And that is almost the whole point of why Julia made this conference, to let women know that they're not alone, right? So, we're going to get even deeper now. I'm going to tell you what happened to me 7 years ago. Because my burnout happened 7 years ago, not 2 years ago. 7 years. I'm really bad with time. So, I am from Indonesia. It's halfway across the world. It's a 25-hour trip by plane. There's at least 2 flights. And I'm here by myself. My whole entire family is there. I have family now with jobs, so my whole family is there. I got a phone call. My grandmother, who's like my second mom, passes away. She's Muslim, so in Muslim culture, most of you guys don't know, they have to be buried within 3 days, and they can't be preserved at all. So in the ground, 3 days. Because I couldn't book a flight and then get on the flight and be there in 3 days, I had to actually miss the funeral, right? And that kind of sucks, because she really was like my second mom, and I hadn't seen her in a while. So, but that's okay. Grandmas, you know, they're older, they pass away. 7 months after that, I get a phone call from my mom, who, mind you, I haven't spoken to in 7 years. I pick up the phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's her. My dad suddenly died of a heart attack. She was the one who found my dad. And flying home. Because my parents are not Muslim, so at least they can wait for me. And my mom just said, are you coming home? Well, then we'll wait for you. Get back there, started a whole chain of events. Had to rediscover my relationship with my mom, you know, and in my culture, we mourn for a whole year, and there's several prayers. So fly back and forth, US, Indonesia, 7 times that year, right? Take care of my mom, bring her to the doctor, blah, blah, blah. 8 months after my dad dies, I get another phone call, this time from my oldest brother. My brother, who I was the closest to since we were kids, like my best friend in the world, he was murdered violently. Lost it. And the details were so murky that I couldn't even make it home. He wanted him buried right away. And my mom was like, it's just too crazy in here. We don't know what's happening. That happened. So of course I was like at home, I was crying, screaming, the whole thing. Then I was like, okay, third death, I can do this, right? Then a couple of months after that, my mom was like, you know what, your dad died of a heart attack, I was really freaked out, your brother died, your grandma died. She wanted all the kids to be checked out for heart problems because it runs in the family. Go to the doctor, my heart's fine, thank God. But my liver wasn't fine because what I forgot was that I was actually born with a chronic liver disease. It's called hepatitis B, for some of you guys that know it. And there's no cure. You get it for your whole entire life. But what we didn't understand is that what it meant, because my parents were both pretty uneducated. They went to middle school and that's it, because poor country, right? So by that time, 7 years ago, when I started going to the specialist, he was like, why didn't you come here as a kid? Your liver is like the liver of a 60-year-old alcoholic. You have about 10 to 15 years before this liver gives out. You will either have liver failure or liver cancer. And to me, that was like, oh my God, right? And I was still flying back and forth. Still had my family here, had kids to raise, and I had work. I had a photo booth business. We still have a photo booth business. And I have a photography business on top of that. That was my burnout. That was when I was like, how do I do all of this? And who am I now, right? So how do you bounce back from that? How did I go from that to now? And right now, you guys, I am ecstatic, I am happy, I have bliss, I have joy in my life. And I'm not saying this for you guys to be like, well, how are we supposed to do it? I'm saying this because I know you guys can all do this. It's no secret, right? Because you look at some of the people who went through 2020, 2021, they're still going, they're happy, and you're like, how do we do that? How do we get some of that energy into our lives? And that's what I want to focus on today, okay? It's actually this thing called passion. And when you are encumbered by everything in life, when you have all the stresses of life, your passion kind of like withers a little bit. This flame in you becomes this tiny little thing instead of this roaring fire that you had when you first started your photo booth business. Because remember when you first got that photo booth at your house and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to unbox it. I can't wait to just open it all up and get my first customer in there. That's passion. That's energy. Like passion gives you the energy to overcome life's biggest obstacles and challenges. It also inspires other people to do what they do best. It inspires your family, it inspires your partner, and it inspires your employees and your team, right? Because who wants to work under a person that's like, well, you know? You want somebody that, if I was up here and my energy is like this, you guys are not going to go home with anything, you know? So, being passionate, actually believing, loving in your business, raring up to go, waking up in the morning and going, I got this, man. That's what will drive you ahead and make you different than your competitors. Because it makes you believe wholeheartedly in your business. It makes you go to a customer and say, you know what? I believe I have the best business and I can take care of you. How many times have you been able to say that confidently to your customer in the last couple of years? Without going, well, I don't know if we're going to get shut down again, right? So, going back, 7 years ago, what did I do? Yes, I was depressed. I'd be lying if I told you that I didn't want to jump in front of a train. I was totally depressed. I didn't know what to do, but I had to fake it all because I had a business and we had 2 kids, right? So, it was going back, sitting down, really, really thinking about what I wanted to do with my life. Given that I now had a time frame, which now I'm like, I'm going to extend it a little bit. I had to think about how do I want to live my life? What are the things that I wanted to do with my life? Who are the people that I wanted to talk to? And who are the people that I wanted to affect? Like you guys. Me being here is a conscious, intentional decision based on what I did 7 years ago. And because I did that, I knew my purpose. From purpose, you get vision. Because passion is your energy for something, for whatever it is that you love. It's like when you first fall in love with that first partner that you had, and everything's all nice and swirly and sweepy. I want you to feel that way again about your business. Passion is your internal energy source. It tells you about your journey and what you want to do with your life. Once you figure out what your passion is, then you know your purpose. You know why you're getting up every single morning. You can't have purpose without having passion. And your purpose means that you get up every day doing what it is that you love to do and why you do it around the people that love you as well. That's a pretty good scenario, right? And I can tell you 100%, I promise this is completely achievable. Once you have your purpose, it gives you the sense of meaning and it guides your life through your career decisions, your personal decisions, your family decisions. It helps you shape your goals. I now know what I want to do because I have a purpose. It gives you a sense of direction. Now your vision is what your world looks like. Not what the world looks like, but what your world looks like. What your world looks like. Because what we want from our world is very dependent on us, right? It's my world. Even though we have a shared world, my world is different than Joshua's world. And it's inspiring a meaningful vision of your future, of your life, something that you can work towards too, feeds back, gives you more passion, gives you more energy, makes you wake up in the morning. So how do we do that? How do we go back and figure out what our passion is? We do that by figuring out your core values. Your core values is who you are as a person intrinsically and what matters to you as a person. When was the last time you guys actually thought about what is really, really important to you, right? Because we're so swamped. We're told your kids are important to you, your career is important to you, staying in shape is important to you, looking pretty is important to you, when none of that actually is a core value. It's actually just what the world tells you that is important. Not saying that your kids aren't important, but that's not your core value. That's not who you are as a person. You are a woman. You might also happen to be a mom, but you're still a woman in your own self. So we're gonna take out our papers and pens or your phone. This is a little exercise. We're gonna figure out your values. It was hard. Yeah, I'm trying to move more, not only for you guys, but for myself.
If anybody needs pen and paper, there
yes,
some
you ladies, do you need paper and pen? Or do you want to just work on your phone?
Excuse me, can you repeat that?
Huh?
Were you talking to us?
Do you need paper and pen if you want to be part of the exercise?
Oh, yeah, I'm just giving it some water.
Okay, awesome. Are we ready? Okay. Can you see the list of words? Yeah? You can come up. You guys can come up. Like, this is not like you sit down, you do nothing, you just listen to me kind of exercise. Come up. So what I want you to do, or Josh can read it. Let him go work. This is part of my vision. Yeah. So as you read these words, what I want you to do, as you scan and you find a word that resonates with you, that makes you go inside, so dig down deep. Write it down. I don't want you to overthink it. I don't want you to pause and go, what does cleverness mean? Is that important? No. It's when you hear that little thump in your heart, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. Yes. It's pretty cute. He's just so confident being the only
Yeah, there's other words that are out there.
Yeah, if there's other words, you guys figure it out. But remember, what I want you to do is not to overthink overthink, because we women overthink, right? We're like, that was you. I want you to hear your heart. Listen to your heart, right here. They're like, I didn't know I was supposed to do this and get this deep today. And just hold up your hand in the air if you got your list of words.
Any word?
Any word from this
Alright,
list.
so just pick one word for
Or
this
may
list.
we hear some words of peace? Which words do you want us to hear for?
Peace, like that, nice like that. Yes.
Are we just picking one word?
No, any word that jumps out at you and makes you feel, ah. As many words as you want. Don't overthink it, ladies. Because we love to overanalyze. I know, see, and then what if I miss the word? See, that's exactly it, right? That's the anxiety talking right there. As many words as you want, babe. Whatever words.
Here's one list.
Yeah.
Look at
Some of you guys are going, and some of you guys are going. So, and this is not a quiz. I'm not scoring you guys on this, by the way. You have a question for me? Okay. We're in the Stripe Club. I'm just doing this to buy time. Who's got their words? I love it. Which one? Yeah. No, words not okay. What? Courageous. Courageous, yeah. Is brave of that? No, right. Put it in there. If that's your word, put it in there. Like Josh said, if a word, if you have a word already, put it in there. It's not up there.
I'm sorry, I can move myself.
We pretty good, guys? Yeah? Who's still working like furiously away? Okay, I'm gonna give it just a minute or two. All right, let's wrap it up a little bit. And honestly, we're around, we can talk about this some more. Now look at your list. Look down at your list. Okay? Circle the ones that are really important and stand up to you. Circle the ones. Like circling all of them. And that's fine. We good? Now rewrite the top 5. That is good to you. From the circled ones. And you can do this as many times as you want to once you get home, you guys. I encourage you to do this anyways. I can send you this list. You can look up values list on Google. I can send you this. So that's why I say, like, this doesn't mean that you're going to walk out of here and that is like your set values for life. You can think about it later on a little bit. your top 5 words. Top 5 words written into a new list. Good. Some of us will open them. Who wants to be brave and wholehearted and tell us your 5 words?
Success, excellence, growth, happiness, and peace.
Here we go.
I have abundance, being the best, growth, courageous, and cheerfulness.
Love it. Anybody that wants to share?
Actually, it's 6 because I can't take one
That's
away.
fine, love. That's fine. No, that's fine. That's how important they are.
But it was
you know?
creativity, empathy, family, humor, intelligence, and peace. My company is peaceful events, so.
I love that. I love that. So you're in touch.
Adventure, community, success, growth, and happiness.
Love that. Who else wants to share?
Mine's totally different.
Love, thankfulness, peace, innovation, abundance.
Mine is, I added one, faith, family, grace, joy, friendship, and health.
You guys, as you're reading out your words, I swear to God, not only because it's cold, you know, like really, because we're doing like real hard work here.
So I have innovative, adaptable, loyal, kind, confident, but I'm also introverted at the same time.
So this is also, I want you guys to think about this. As each lady speaks out their truth, their 5 or 6 words, are we inspired? Right? Because when you have the light and you open up and you share that light with the world, it gives light to other people. Right? And now you know to hang out with. Now you know, like, oh, I like your words. We're gonna hang out, right? So go home. Take these 5 words. Write it on a big piece of paper and stick it next to your bathroom mirror. Because when you look at yourself in the morning at the end of the night, you look at your 5 words. And that's what I want you to do for a while. So, next hard question. How does your life and your photo book business, because we're sitting here, reflect your values? And then you go, oh, crap. And this is why burnout happens. Because that power, that energy that you got from other people reading their list, and the power you got from figuring out your own list, it doesn't carry over to your photo booth business if those two are not aligned. It doesn't carry over to your life if it doesn't align. And that,
It's your why, right? It's your why.
it's your why, but also your who. It's what you are. It's like, that's what makes your heart really beat. Not just because it has to beat, otherwise you're not alive, but it really beats inside, you know? And that's what we call intentional living. That's why I want you to place your 5 words on the wall, because I want you to get up and you say, today, I will be peaceful. Today, I will be kind. Today, I will be excellent, right? Today, I will be courageous. Because when we're not living in harmony with our values, that's an energy block. And we can make adjustments and realign our lives and our business to bring forth that extra sense of fulfillment, that happiness, that energy that you felt today. I want you to feel that in your business. And when that happens, when we're aligned, when our life, our business, our relationships are aligned, I swear to you, you'll feel peace. Because that woman 7 years ago is very different from the woman I am today, where today, I can genuinely tell you, I don't care if I die tomorrow. Because what I have is bliss, contentment, joy. Real joy. Not just happiness, which is fleeting, but real joy. Your life is going to have a lot more meaning when you live your life according to your values, because you are actually doing something you believe in. And remember that energy and that light that I was talking about? You can infect other people with it. Your kids, your partner, your parents. Sometimes our parents really need it. And also, your customers, you guys. Your customers can feel that excitement and that happiness. Your relationships will improve because just like what I said, go find that girl that said the same word that you love. You're going to connect with people who are similar minded. Because you are going to stop tolerating bull fucking shit. You're going to have boundaries because you know who you are. Client comes, I don't care if they have $10,000, but if they're a B and they're very difficult, we're going to say no, right? We've said no to Pinterest, you guys, because Pinterest was horrible, and they wanted to copyright all my work, and I was like, no, I'm an artist, that shit's mine. You know? So, on top of that, once you start living your life to your values, one magical thing will happen. You will start focusing your time on the things that are important to you, and not on the time that is not on the things that are not important to you. So you're going to have more time. Because you're going to zero in on the things that you want to do, especially in your business. In fact, when you do that, you actually become experts in your business, right? You'll be happier, you'll have a lot more time, you'll feel more accomplished. What happens? Those of us with families, your families will also be happier because you have that energy to give out to everybody instead of that energy being taken and taken and taken and taken. I love just the fact that you'll be able to say no. Right? Because we as women, especially moms, it's so difficult sometimes to say no. But with this, you have power inside yourself to go, this is not the job that I want to do. This is not the kind of photo booth business that I want to be. So, with that, use this exercise anytime you want to. Anytime. We do this to figure out who we are as parents for our kids, because we want to intentionally parent our kids. We do this to figure out who we want to be as partners, right? Am I guessing? So, and even how I wanted to be in the world, how I wanted to show up in the world. And that really matters. When was the last time you thought, who is this person and what kind of person do I want to be in the world? And how do I want to affect others? Really, you guys, how do I want to affect others? Or maybe you don't, and that's also okay. So these are the same things that I asked myself 7 years ago when I had to redefine my life and I had to I call it giving birth. And a lot of that, that's like labor, and then you have this baby, and I'm the new baby, and I'm growing myself. I am making myself into the person and the vision that I want to be, and I'm shaping my life to support that vision, right? So I'm going to ask you this. How are you serving yourselves, and how are you serving your customers? Angie is in our mentoring group, and we ask this all the time. How are you serving your customers? Because your business is also about your customers. If they're happier, you're happier. If they're happier, your business will be better. What I did, I sat down, figured that out, used that system for our business, and we've done it multiple times. And then from there, we created a value system for our business. For example, innovation is one of our words for our business. Teamwork is one of our words for our business because I knew that we wanted a bigger team because I don't want to do all the work myself, right? That's the dream though, right? Like we want employees to do the work, but we gotta let go of their control, right? So because we knew what we wanted to do, we were really focused. And you guys that were there yesterday, what is the niche brand? It is when you are singularly focused on that one single thing, selling to the single group of customers that you love. You see how values and that niche brand finally fit in? And this stuff, I can't do it to, like, we can't present this to 300 people, and some of them are just going to be like, all right, see, I'm out, right? That's why some of you guys that we talked to yesterday, come to this one. This one's going to fill in the gaps. So we wanted to be very good at the things that we valued. Very, very good. And we didn't want to be like everybody. In fact, we wanted to be the best. The best. Isn't that one of your words, right, you guys? We want to be the best at what it is that we love. And because we love doing what we do, we didn't get run out. Because we have fun. And I can tell you guys, I also run a photography company. I shoot boudoir. So women, I love what I do. And this is going to sound awful. I love making those women cry because they cry tears of joy. And that makes me get up in the morning, you guys. you know? And I'm like, yes, I made a woman cry today. You know, like I swear, that's what it's like. When you niche down, when you get down, take your business, think about it, sit down, and focus on what it is that you love, you'll get better and better and better at it because you're not distracted by all the other things. I don't give an F about what anybody else is doing. I don't look up at competitors. I don't know what their pricing is. I'd be friends with them. It's a much nicer relationship when I don't care what it is that they do and I treat them as humans and as friends. And they're friends. We have friends in the photo booth business. We don't care what the pricing is. You know, we'll send people their way that isn't our customers, and we're much happier that way. You have to function with this deep belief that your business is making a difference. It's not solving world hunger. I know. You're not curing people of AIDS or even COVID, but you're making somebody else's life better for that moment in time that they're in your booth. And what a wonderful gift that is, that the universe has really given you. You get to change somebody's mood. Nobody's going to step into a photo booth if you're feeling upset, but everybody should be leaving your photo booth feeling amazing, feeling even better than when they stepped in there. And that's what I want. I hope that's kind of what you want too. So once you have your niche, it's way easier to figure out the people that you want to attract. Because guess what? Their words are going to be really similar to your words. And already you can see, even though we're all photo booth business owners, our words are different. It's a lie when people say everybody is your competition. It's a downright lie because nobody can be like you. You know, it's just a myth. So once you figure out your passion and your purpose, you can use your business to practice your values and practice yourself. And guess what? That business will be an extension of yourself. You will just be able to breathe. You're going to end up focusing on the things that you love, and you're going to be known for it. Because guess what? You're going to be that girl who's like, man, she does great balloons. She's always happy when she's doing those balloons. She loves it. Or do you want to be like, she does great balloons, but whoa, I don't want to be around her when she's setting up, right? Now, you're like, oh crap, we're going to do something a little bit more vulnerable again. But it's not on your side. I want you guys to open your heart, and Josh is actually going to share.
So, our business, we did about, pre-COVID, we were doing about 350 to 400 events a year. And it's at the top end, so we're charging over $1,000, right? So it's a lot of work. We've got a team, but when COVID hit, like, we have 50, 60, 70 events that we have to cancel. Like, it's a big thing, and it takes a lot of time. It's not like we slow down at all. In fact, we got super busy, but there's no money coming in, right? So when you're doing that many events, you can't just stop the tap from, the money from running out, going out no matter what. And we did fine. We got through. We worked it all out. But then it kept happening, right? We'd ramp up, we'd start picking up, and then it'd go down again. And so it's been just an incredible.
We're also in California.
Yeah.
Just so you know, so it is.
And things will shut down within a week. It's like, oh, nothing now. It was going from full to nothing, and you just never know. It's fine. We can get through it, but I think this last one, in late November, it was just like we were ready to go. Christmas, our biggest time of the year, and then nothing, right? And it lasted for.
Well, Omicron.
It completely shut down again. So we had to do the whole thing again. You can't turn off the tap right away. All of that, and then finding employees. That has been really, really difficult. And so, do we go ahead and make the sale, or and hope that we can get somebody, or do we not? So there's that really hard game to play. And it finally got to me, like, I couldn't handle it. I was completely down. I couldn't work. I couldn't keep going with the way we were doing business. And like I was shut down. I just couldn't do it.
And this isn't like last year, you guys. Like he's talking about what's happening in the last month. Like no joke.
We, therapy, doing all kinds of stuff. But I could not focus anymore. Period. I just couldn't do it. So we talked about our business and what we can do, because even though it sounds like we're going in the right direction and everything's going to be good, we're all living with that still. It happened again. It happened again, right? And so
Because that's called trauma. You guys realize that? We went actually like real trauma.
So we decided to really change our business model and structure, and we're working on it right now, so that we don't have to depend on employees as much or in that same way, because really your employees are the face of your company at an event, right? And even with, when you have 20, 30 events in a month, if you do one event incorrectly, that's your reputation, and it really, so it has to be perfect. So it was, so we just really decided we want to change it and figure out a way that we can kind of get our lives back and get rid of that continuous fear, that continuous cycle of what are we going to do, how do we do this?
It was about 2 weeks ago when we
Yeah.
sat down, did the list for Gazelle and Riot, for our business, and also for Josh, and really figuring out what it is that's important. And it wasn't like we were hurting before. We had like I don't know our numbers, but I know it was at least $500,000 a year business with Gazelle and Riot. It wasn't like we were hurting necessarily, but we were hurting inside. And no amount of income, no amount of events is going to make that better. In fact, it'll make it worse, because you're just trying to get to the next stop point, figuring out when you can breathe again. And now, because of what we did 2 weeks ago, Josh is actually breathing again. He literally said yesterday, I haven't been this relaxed since we got home from Hawaii. Like this is real shit, right? So be courageous, be unafraid, be brave to make these choices. Because even though a lot of people, or you might feel like you're going to get judged, or what happens if, what happens then, what is going to happen if you don't do it? Isn't that the bigger question? Isn't that the most important question? And just like us, you can simplify your life. Focus in on what you want to do. And we're simplifying our business. And Josh said, when we did that?
It was almost immediate. Like, it's still going to change. There's still a lot of unknowns, but now we have a plan.
We have a plan. We have a marketing plan already, because I know what we're going to do. And marketing's my side of things, systems is his side of things. So he knows already what he's going to do with the systems. I know already how we're going to carry our business forward. I'm excited to share it with you guys, to share it with our peeps, with like Angie and Richard. And guess what? Part of our plan, to be really, really honest and open with you guys, because we're in a safe space here, right? We were doing a lot of corporate events, right? Big corporate events, national openings, conventions. We're in San Francisco. These are big corporate gigs, you guys. Do you know how much work goes into a big corporate gig? Life-sucking for us, right? For us. If it's great for you, I applaud you. Go take that business. We don't want to do that. Our joy is in the custom fabrications, the unique stuff that we can do for our wedding couples. We love that. We love that shit. And that's what we're going to focus on. And guess what? We can do 3 or 4 of those in a day, but only one huge corporate gig, because Josh has to rent a van or 2. We have to build a fabrication in our warehouse, bring the whole team. That's a lot of work. We can only do one of that. So even though the price point looks bigger, the profit that we get from a wedding is almost the same, because the cost of goods is also smaller than the freaking big corporate activations, right? And we can do more than one in one day and have fun. Not only that, how many people are competing for the big corporate events. So many, because my friend Min will fly in from Texas, Zach will fly in from New York, everybody's feeding on that same piece. Do you know how many we have in our area that does what we do? Do you know how many competition we have? 0. Because we get to be as unique as we want. I literally sit down and draw out sketches for people. And that energy that you put forth in the world, since we decided that 2 weeks ago, we've had, 5 or 6 custom fabrication requests just in the last couple weeks alone. I've already drawn out 2 sets.
What are fabrications?
Whatever I dream of, I draw, and he makes sure that it stands up and doesn't fall down. Whatever. I can build a full room. I can build you a silent disco. Let's come and play. You see how much my energy pumps up there? Because I'm like, tell me your dreams. Give me a budget. I'll play. And that's what we do.
So when you do those fabrications, do you leave those with the customers when you're done?
Oh, no. No, even
I
if
mean,
we
because you're saying you're building them custom to that.
Yeah.
Some we do, some we don't.
If we don't want them, we leave them.
Or if it's, if we graffitied somebody's name, they're going to get that.
But guess what? We made a custom wall for Cora. If you guys don't know, Cora is organic tampons, right? We made a custom wall for one of their photo activations. No photo booth, just the freaking custom wall. They loved it so much, they paid for it, and it's now sitting in their corporate office. So I don't have to store it. And the pieces that we do bring home, we make it into case study, and somebody else can use it, right? So remember that you can always use that value exercise, revisit that, and reframe that for your whole entire life. Not just for your business, but for your whole entire life. And any time in your business where you're feeling like, uh-oh, it's happening again, where it's feeling like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where I'm going, my business doesn't feel like it's letting me flow, because what we want in humans, as humans, and what we want in our life is flow, is that energy when you're open, when you're figuring out your 5 words and you're feeling that energy go, that's flow, and that's where I want you to be. And that's how I feel every single morning. Sometimes I know Josh because I'm really happy, right? So now, oh shit. No, let me do, and I'm being recorded. So, oh, that's right, 2021. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me in 2021. No, I didn't get burned out by COVID. I didn't. I actually, when Josh was like, what are we gonna do? I told him, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna get us out of this. I'm the workhorse as things were shutting down. That's actually what happened. But in 2021, I started feeling weird pains all over my body, right? I asked Josh and I asked my team, do you guys feel like you're being stabbed by needles in your leg? And Josh was like, no, you gotta go to the doctor. So you guys know my story. I'm not embarrassed to share any of it. You guys can ask me anything. I was actually diagnosed with early stage multiple sclerosis. That's what happened to me in 2021. And so people are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I appreciate that. But I am okay. I'm okay. Because I've already done the grunt work. I've already done the hard work. I know how to heal. I know it's not going to stop me. And I have vision and passion in my life. And MS, you guys, it's not going to stop me. Really.
You're okay, but look at Josh. He's not okay.
I know! You guys are not okay! You know?
But it did really, again, it changed the way that
we did business.
And that she's going to do business with her
Yeah,
retired people.
I expanded my team. I have 5 girls under my photography business that love their jobs. If there's a customer that's being a pain, I don't even have to say anything. They're like, oh my God, they're defending me. They believe in the business. Because they get up with the same kind of passion and they love their work. I have to tell them to go home, you guys. Like, serious, right? Like, you guys need to stop working. Stop checking your work messages on the weekends. Like, I have to tell them that. Because, honestly, I know, for me, I wake up every day and ask myself, how am I going to serve the world, my community, and the people around me? And that's my passion. And my purpose is to create safe space, just like what we're doing today, this morning, right now, so that I can let others shine. so that they can be authentically them, and I can show them how beautiful they are inside and outside. And that's my thing. That's my purpose. So, find that passion. I knew you guys have it. It's that little flame that we were all born with, and take it out into your business. Say goodbye to your burnout and light your world on fire.
My business partner is my husband. I need him to be inspired like Josh. And why do I get that in my husband? Like, he's there, he helps with all the heavy stuff, but I need him to be inspired. He's like, oh no, you're great at it. I know, but I need you to be great at
Have you ever asked him what he loved about the business?
it. He was the one who, this is why we're doing it.
Have you ever asked him? Has he spoke, like, the thing is, guys don't speak these kind of,
No, I've never
he
asked
needs to
him.
say it.
But I just assumed this is what he wanted. He purchased our first photo booth.
You want to do it, guys?
And
Ask.
I don't know.
You know what? When you
But
ask
it's
your
my
husband, but when you ask your husband things like that, though, you let them shine, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be, is he doing what he wants with the business? Is it satisfying him? Is there something else that will make it more fun? What is it the two of you do that can make your business interesting and unique and have that little difference, that edge that makes it of you guys? And maybe do you feel like, or do you think it's doing that right now?
Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes, I know he's excited, especially when we finish an event. He's like, oh man, that went so well. I'm like, he's like ecstatic. But it's like, just getting that jump start from him, like, I'm the one that handles the day-to-day business. I'm like you, I handle all the marketing, I handle everything. He's just there when we have to translate stuff. That's basically
Really,
his
though,
job.
ask him what he loves about the business. Ask him what he loves to do, and let him soar, and then get out of his lane. I don't tell Josh what to do when it's his responsibility. He doesn't tell me, like, oh, I think, if the balloon should be like, I'm like, my lane, his lane.
But just one quick example. For instance, we have multiple booths. So I typically do everything with, like, from overlay layout, everything with the small booths, because I can handle that by myself. When we started with our bigger booth, he was the one who handled all of that. So I really didn't mess with the big booth, with the software and all of that. I really didn't try to understand it. I let him do it. We had an event coming up, and they wanted to big booth. He's just working. We're like 2 days before. We haven't even set up to go to a dry run, make sure everything's working.
This is gonna be like a couples therapy session, right? Because you guys actually need to have a system and talk to each other and figure out what your roles and responsibilities are, and then hold them accountable.
And I do. But the thing is, he was like, well, I thought you were going to do that because
No.
you don't do all that. No.
Put it on our task list. We have task lists. Josh does this, Caroline does this, the team does this. Really.
Yeah, I think having clear responsibilities of whose job is what, who's in charge of what, and if he needs help or you need help, you ask. But it's definitely that. But I think it is really important. I think for you to sit down and figure out what you love and what will get you both inspired.
I think my husband just likes watching me, like, because I have fun, and he's just like,
Confidence and fun. No, seriously.
like, that's,
Yeah.
I was supposed to ask you if
Interact
he's like
with
that.
the clients when
Yeah.
we're having an event, he'll stand back and I'm like, no, babe, you gotta interact.
But
You
the
gotta
thing
be
is,
like,
you
I'm
have
like,
to ask
engaging.
him, you have to ask him what he wants to do. We know what you do. We don't know what your husband
But
wants
his
to
answer
do.
is, you're good at it, so I just let you do it.
But
No,
just because
I
I'm-
want to just do it.
Right, just because we're good at something doesn't mean that we want to do it. But you really have your husband, like, he needs to own it. And he needs to be accountable as well, But you also need to say that in a kind of a nice way.
That's like a coaching or?
It's a course with the coaching, with once a month coaching, and So we go through the whole framework of photo booths, not which machines to use, but the actual business and the actual system. Yeah, and any new ideas that you would want to run through, if you, like Angie will share proposals, ideas, concepts, and we just go through it on a Zoom call and we'll do it with you. Honestly, it's not like, we don't do the coaching because we're trying to make money, it's not that. It's honestly our passion, Like I can say that honestly to you guys because you saw you saw our process. So I want to make room for the next speaker though because Josh is also nudging me and pointing at his phone. But we're gonna be outside. We are, I mean this, we are available for you guys. If you got the link for the coaching giveaway, we are giving it away during PBX or on phone call after the fact. Right? But we're available for questions. And we actually are gonna open up coaching sessions one-on-one while we are at PBX. We can give you the link for that. So the giveaway, I'm going to announce it at the end of the night.
So I'll just say this real quick as the first